He never imagined he would command men in the field. He was comfortable in silence. Cold office air, rows of monitors, satellite feeds flickering at 3 a.m. He studied patterns, terror networks, smuggling routes, encrypted communications. He wasn't trained to pull triggers. He was trained to see what others missed. He was an analyst. In the operations center, everything was clean, coordinates precise, timelines structured, risk percentages calculated. War looked organized from behind a screen. But numbers hide chaos, and chaos doesn't show up in spreadsheets. He wrote briefings that shaped missions. He highlighted vulnerabilities, predicted movement corridors, identified safe windows for extraction. Teams trusted the data because data didn't lie. Until one day, it did. The operation was supposed to be routine. Night insertion, silent capture, clean exfiltration. Instead, unexpected resistance, communications delay, a shift in patrol timing no one predicted. The team adapted, but not fast enough. 2 wounded, 1 evacuation under fire, and later, in a quiet room with dim lighting, he reread his report. He saw the blind spot, a minor inconsistency in a data stream he dismissed. Not significant, statistically negligible, operationally catastrophic. Nobody blamed him directly. The failure was systemic. Multiple departments, multiple decisions. But he knew. He knew where he hesitated. And hesitation costs lives. For weeks he couldn't sleep. He replayed the timeline, frame by frame. Where could he have pushed harder? Questioned more. Doubted his own certainty. He realized something uncomfortable. Information without accountability is safety. Command without accountability is leadership. He was safe, and he hated it. He requested transfer, field integration program, operational cross-training. The room went silent. You're overqualified. You're not built for combat. You're valuable where you are. But value without growth is containment. He signed the papers anyway. The first training cycle nearly broke him. Physical standards far beyond desk endurance. Endurance marches, live fire simulations, sleep deprivation drills, decision-making under stress. He failed more than once. Not physically, mentally. His mind was used to time. In the field, you get seconds. He learned to compress analysis, to decide at 70% certainty, to act without perfect information. He wasn't trying to become a soldier. He was trying to become complete. Operators noticed something. In debriefs, while others spoke emotionally, he broke situations down calmly. He reconstructed engagements like puzzles. He predicted secondary threats before they emerged. He wasn't the loudest voice, but when he spoke, the room quieted, because clarity cuts through noise. First deployment. Not as commander, not even as team lead. Embedded advisor. A bridge between intelligence and boots on the ground. He felt the difference immediately. Dust in the air, unpredictable terrain, civilians moving through operational zones, noise, adrenaline, fear, all the variables that never fully appear in data. During one patrol, something felt wrong. No visual confirmation, no direct intel, just pattern recognition, market behavior slightly off, vehicle positioning unnatural. He halted the unit, requested aerial sweep. They found the IED minutes before detonation. The team leader looked at him differently after that, not as the analyst, as an asset. Back home, his reports changed. They were sharper, less theoretical, more grounded. He added friction factors, human unpredictability variables, environmental stress notes. Command began assigning him to sensitive planning cells, then to pre-mission scenario modeling, then to operational rehearsal oversight. Each step pulled him closer to command. Another mission, urban extraction, high-value target, tight window. Everything aligned perfectly on paper, until an informant went silent. Decision time. Abort and lose months of work, or proceed with incomplete intel? He made the call to adjust, not cancel. Split approach, redundant extraction route, hidden contingency team. The target was secured. 0 casualties. Not luck, preparation. He stopped chasing perfection. He started building redundancy. Every mission plan had layers: primary objective, secondary fallback, emergency collapse protocol. Command noticed something else. His people returned alive. In operations where probability rarely favors survival, that matters. Years passed. He studied leadership the same way he studied threats: historical campaigns, psychological resilience, group dynamics under stress. He understood something most never do. Men don't follow rank, they follow trust. Trust is built in chaos. During a night raid, communications failed completely. No drone feed, no command oversight, hostile territory. He was the highest-ranking officer present. Temporary command. Shots fired from elevated position. 2 teams separated. He assessed terrain, redirected movement through a narrow corridor, used darkness instead of fighting it. The mission completed. Minimal injuries, no loss. That night changed his trajectory. He was promoted to operational unit lead. Now, decisions weren't about one squad. They were about multiple teams across regions, logistics chains, intelligence fusion, political constraints. He learned to balance aggression with restraint. The hardest command decision isn't attack, it's withdrawal. Ego pushes forward. Wisdom sometimes pulls back. One mission required aborting despite months of preparation. Public pressure, political expectation, internal frustration. He called it off. New intel suggested civilian risk. He absorbed the backlash. Weeks later, confirmation arrived. The location had shifted. The abort saved lives. Command isn't about being right, it's about being responsible. Eventually, the designation came. Black Ops Commander. No ceremony, no applause, just expanded authority, expanded consequences. Now, failures wouldn't injure a unit. They could destabilize regions. He adapted. He built systems, decentralized control, empowered sub-leaders, encouraged dissent in planning rooms, because blind agreement kills. He never forgot the night he read his own mistake. It shaped everything. Every briefing included a section called blind spots, worst-case assumptions, data uncertainty margins, human error probabilities. He built a culture of humility inside elite operations, and that made them stronger. From behind a monitor to behind global operations. From observing movement to directing it. From writing reports to writing outcomes. He didn't become commander by force. He became commander by ownership. Ownership of mistakes, ownership of consequences, ownership of men under his command. He started as a man who analyzed risk. He became a man who carried it. And the difference between analyst and commander is not intelligence. It's responsibility under pressure. When everything collapses and eyes turn to you, that's when the transformation is complete. He never stopped thinking. He never stopped learning. But now, when missions launch at 0-200, he doesn't just watch screens. He carries the weight of every name on the roster. And that weight is what makes him a commander.